So,
just putting in my last bet for the Monaco Grand Prix, which
the most exciting race on the circuit.
Yeah, well, no.
Probably the most visually appealing, though, to be honest.
Yes, this is the race. If you don't usually do F1, and you thank you for watching this podcast, we do the F1 at the end. Maybe you just turn it off. I appreciate you if you don't usually, if you're not effing around with us every week. But Monaco is definitely the one you want to watch on a big TV. You want it to be well lit. You want to invite some people over, have some brunch. It's at 9 a.m. on the East Coast.
Or on Sunday. I'm sorry, you're doing brunch on Sunday for this race. You can do it tomorrow, too, depending on when you're listening to this. I don't care when you have brunch personally, but you should for Monaco.
But we were able to do the podcast a little bit later this week so that we could get all the bets in and actually give them to you here. Usually we preview the race, and I tell you to go find the bets on the Substack. But you know what? Sometimes things just work out. We've also got some news talking about some numbers. We didn't do numbers last week. We're getting some numbers. I'll give you the numbers ahead of time. 25%, 17, $36,000, more than $45,000, $1,450. What is he talking about? 11 billion's the other number. This is Wit Grit.
Welcome to Wit and Grit, where Ian and Sean break down sports betting, pop culture, or whatever's on their minds. The Wit and Grit Podcast.
Welcome in to Wit and Grit. We have no NFL to talk about because we gave out a wave of NFL futures last week. And if we do too much NFL in Checks Notes June, we're going to have a bad time. I just said we have no NFL. Literally thought of an NFL segment I wanted to talk to you about.
Hey, run it by me on the fly.
Jonathan, why? Jonathan Cooper, why?
You're missing me with this one. I don't know what you're talking about.
One of my Broncos players has been arrested on suspicion of criminal mischief and domestic violence.
Oh, shit. That's
terrible.
So pardon my French. I feel like it's warranted in that situation.
And Sean, I know you just perfectly articulated what every fan feels. One, there's obviously the secondary reaction where you're like, this is a terrible crime. Domestic violence is horrible. Like, you don't want that to happen to anybody, and we would never condone that. But as a sports fan, as a human, as a red-blooded person, the first thing post-Ray Rice you think of when someone on your team gets hit with the DV charge is selfish. It is selfish. Oh no, that's 6 games. Like, immediately. That's what my head went to, and I was actually feeling worse that I had such a human reaction to this news. I looked at my girlfriend, I left the room. I was like, I gotta go outside and process, and she's like, great, don't do it here. Like,
what?
It's like, we gotta talk. Somebody's gotta talk about it. Stephen A. Smith isn't gonna talk about it.
You can't say that that's the first thing.
Yeah, it is. It's called a reaction. You don't control your reactions. You just have a reaction. All right, you walk into your house. Yeah. Someone jumps out with a Halloween mask and scares you. You freak out and punch them real quick because you don't know what's going on. Whether that's a child having a joke or a criminal who has a flair for the dramatic, you have done the same thing because you reacted.
But that's what I love watching.
Just clowns getting decked in the face.
And for some reason, I thought of a Scream mask. I guess the marketing worked. I mean, scary movie coming out and all that.
That's apparently really bad. I don't think it's
way.
Bad. Well, okay, yeah, no, they're not masterpieces of cinema. But even for a scary movie, people are like, no, it's not worth it. You don't even laugh. Apparently, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but the reviews. Are real bad.
I heard a guy give a pretty honest review. I think his name's Pop Culture Brian. I don't know if you follow that guy, but he's a nerd like us. So
what did he say?
He basically said that it's feels like a weird episode of SNL, just a bunch of different horror type sketches. They're kind of woven together, and a bit too much fan service on like bringing back old things from Scary Movie past and things like that. But some of them are really good, and it breaks the fourth wall like so much they don't even have one. You're basically talking to the audience half the time. And they said at the end, there's a pretty preachy kind of message that he thought was well warranted, actually, about like what doing a spoof should be about or something like that. So
Okay, interesting.
overall, the Wayans brothers clearly had a message, but the audience score is way higher, in my opinion.
Okay, I haven't looked too much into it. I saw one headline that said it wasn't really worth your time. And just with all the movies this summer, man, I don't think I'm gonna make that one. I got to see Disclosure Day. I got to see End of Oak Street. I got to see Spider-Man. There's a lot going on.
We still haven't seen Mandalorian and Grogu to do our review.
Because I've
Memorial
also
Day
heard
ended up happening.
bad things about that.
No, what are you talking about?
That's just what I'm reading, man. I don't know what. So I can't.
You're clearly only scanning headlines and not actually clicking any of these articles.
It's
like very clear to me. Yeah. It's very clear to me. The Mandalorian and Grogu has not gotten bad reviews. It's done all right for an adventure movie that's a Star Wars movie that all Star Wars movies are hated when they first come out. But the audience scores were okay. It's just that the negative headlines are all about how it's not making any money.
What is that? What is that with Star Wars? Because you're right. Because I recently rewatched really like all of them. And they're better than I remember them being. Even the ones that I hate on. Like Episode 2. It's not a great movie, but like it's better than I internally give it credit for when I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
George Lucas gave a little bit of an interview post Episode 1 coming out, talking about Jar Jar Binks. And he pointed out what everyone kind of forgot is how everyone hated C-3PO and R2-D2. They thought they were for children because basically fans get older and they kind of forget.
Okay.
That Star Wars is for children. Like,
right.
We like the movies and they make them approachable for adults, for the people that grew up watching them. Like, we all grew up watching them, but that's the whole point. You get into it when you're younger and you're less cynical. And then all of a sudden when you're older and you have this preconceived notion of what your Star Wars are, and he takes it somewhere different, or as Disney takes it somewhere different, people just seem to hate it at first and then eventually get used to it. Like the prequels got trashed for most of our lives, but those are the ones we went to see in theaters. And I, pound for pound, enjoy watching those more for the nostalgia, way more than 4, 5, and 6. I watched 4, 5, and 6 almost historically because they were so old when I came out. Like, that was what you watched at daycare when they had nothing to do. Yeah,
4, 5, and 6. And they're good movies, but it almost feels like obligatory when you're doing a rewatch. You're like, well, I can't not watch these.
Like, and once you get into them, they're good movies. But then everyone says that they're the best ones, and I'm just like, no, an old person made this list.
I can't agree with that. Yeah, I just can't. I still think after a full rewatch, I still think I hold on to 3. Just the angst and everything, man.
Only bad thing about Revenge of the Sith is a little bit of Ian McDermott's overacting, but honestly, it's so iconic that for me, it shaped my idea of what overacting could be. So like now I think of him every time I think of the concept. Yeah. So that's a pretty powerful thing he did.
Cinematography and the score are both top notch too, man. Even if the acting is cringe at times, and like, kudos to Star Wars, man.
All right, price check. 7 numbers this week. Hit it. That was funny. Dan's funny today. I said. He was like, okay, here's another sound effect of the coins. 25%, roughly 1 in 4 American professionals hit an invisible wall in their career before their so-called peak earning years, going at least 5 years with no real boost in pay or position. That's the central finding of a study tracking 1.3 million mid-career professionals since 2000. High unemployment, solid economy on paper, and still a quarter of people in the prime of their careers quietly stall out and never get told why.
Okay, so interesting. People just think that like, well, this is life now. This is where I'm at, and kind of accept that. Is that? I mean,
sometimes you are in a market that doesn't have other companies, and you can't jump for competition because they've told us since the 2010s that if you wanted to make more money, you needed to change jobs a lot. Like, baby boomers change jobs on average like 2 or 3 times in their whole lives. And then it's like, to make the kind of money you probably deserve with your experience nowadays, they said on average, by the time you're 30, you would hold like 14 jobs.
Oh my gosh. See, then does good company culture become a hamstring because you don't want to leave? But you could earn more elsewhere, but you're happy and your mental health is good, but you're struggling financially. Like, what?
Exactly.
I don't like this.
That's the problem. I mean, that's the problem. Is like if you work at a good company,
You're not incentivized to leave from everyone's situation is different. But if you work for a good company and your mental health is solid and you like what you do, you're not incentivized to leave necessarily for additional money, depending on how much, of course. But like, I feel this. This is good stuff.
What is a good company? That's the question, right? Is a good company one that you have good job security, even if you're not getting the raises you think you should?
Yeah.
Or is a good company a place where you're going to get the raises you should, but if you have a bad couple weeks and life happens, you might lose your job and actually get fired because you're not performing at the top rate you need to make those raises.
And that's real. We're all human. That happens. Like,
yeah.
It is interesting to think about, what at a certain point, do you have to put a price on your happiness and on your mental health? And what is that price? Like that's an interesting conversation. Would more money make
me happy, or would more time not working make me happy?
Right. Or is it that, my boss actually treats me like a human and is understanding about life and things, but I could be making more over here and maybe not be treated as well, but I really need to pay rent. It's crazy.
All right. How about 17? This is how many movie and television productions with budgets of at least $10 million were filmed in New Jersey last year. Poured nearly $1 billion into the state, about double what it was in 2024. New Jersey's film tax incentive program is apparently the most effective of any state. Not California, not Georgia, New Jersey.
That's interesting. I would figure New York, because that's, you want all those inner city and skyline shots and everything. And I don't know,
really?
Yeah.
No one shoots in New York. It's way too expensive. No one.
Okay. I don't know a lot about that side of the industry. It makes sense that it would.
If you want to shoot something that looks like it's in LA, it's cheaper to go to South America and make it. You take everyone from LA and you go down there. It's crazy.
So
George, so if you don't know a lot about this, let me fill you in. The audience may feel the same.
Yeah.
Georgia has been the king of making movies for quite a while. You'll see it at the end of a lot of these Marvel movies. You see the peach, Georgia, boom. It was made in Georgia. So New Jersey is now going to be the one people will be surprised about, because it left California long ago.
Okay.
There are some shows that film in LA. If they film on a soundstage and things like that, it's a lot easier to stay in town and do it. But overall, this is a random example, but Carissa Flockhart.
Got it.
Harrison Ford's wife?
Sure.
Yeah, she was Ally McBeal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's just hot and younger than him, and they've been dating or married for a while now. Anyway, she was on Supergirl. First season. She's the boss that comes in on the Supergirl TV show that was on CW that actually did pretty well. She's the boss that comes in. And then before season 2, as they were trying to get all of the Arrowverse and everything together or whatever, the Flashverse, whatever they were calling it, because they had Flash and Arrow that were working, and then they tried to bring in Supergirl. The show was in danger because it filmed in Vancouver, Canada, but she was like, I want to hang out with my husband. I'm married to Harrison Ford. I don't want to be in Canada. I want to be in LA, and I want to hang out with him. He's 80 now, so he was in his 70s then. She's like, I want to hang out with him.
Right, makes sense.
So it literally changed where they filmed the show, and the show ended up having to move to CBS off of CW and all of this other stuff to try to make it work and fit her into it. So that's just one example of how, if you've got enough star power, you can tell them where to make it. So
do you know if you just have to be based in New Jersey or wherever, and then you can kind of, go across the river and film in New York if you want to, or is that how that works?
I don't think so. I'm unsure about the specific permit, but I'm pretty sure you list places and things to get your funding approved and everything like that.
Okay. Well, let's get on that.
Let's start a movie.
Yeah.
We don't have time to see movies from people we've known for decades that make movies like Scary Movie 6, but we'll make one and everyone would go watch it for sure. That's what people think.
Yeah, totally. A24.
$36,000 This is the price of a bottle of wine that was stolen from a restaurant in Virginia's Shenandoah Valley, just up from me. I'm going to try to say this the best I can. The Bears Provençal Inn.
Probably close.
The wine was a Domaine de la Romanaconti, one of the most coveted bottles on the planet. The demand for this wine is so extreme that it has spawned a full black market for rare spirits. Thieves and counterfeiters specifically target it. Someone drove to Shenandoah Valley and walked out with $36,000 worth of wine.
Dude,
did you have any idea this was going on?
No, not at all. That is insane. And the fact that it was like right in your backyard is kind of crazy too.
You know, the president has a winery in Charlottesville.
That's cool.
I mean, not that that's a good or bad thing. I don't care. I don't go to Charlottesville that much. Yeah. But what I'm saying is just like to show you that there's a wine culture in Virginia that a lot of people may not know about.
So I see that there's this like black market or whatever. Is that what the plan is, I guess? Like they're not going to drink this.
That's what I would worry about with a wine that expensive. Who's like, I'll drink that?
Who is going to drink it? Like ever? For what reason? Is it something like, you know, well, I got the Lifetime Achievement Award or something. Time to drink this $36,000 bottle of wine. Like, that is insane. That's a lot of risk for, like, a murky payoff. Like, I don't even know what their end game is. But, yeah, that's wild.
How about more than 45,000?
Okay.
That's how many people entered a parking lottery for the chance to witness synchronized fireflies in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. There's only 960 slots that are going to be distributed. So more than 45,000 people are trying to get those 960 slots. These fireflies, they flash in coordinated patterns simultaneously, lighting up the entire forest at the same time. It lasts a few weeks every summer. Campsites sell out months in advance. 45,000 people entered a lottery for 960 parking spaces to watch insects.
A lottery for parking is crazy, first of all, regardless of what the event is. I'd never, ever want to find myself in that situation, for sure. I've been in a hotel room lottery. No, I mean, sure, but I'm not entering some lottery to park. I've been in hotel room lotteries, and that even feels like, what am I doing here? I'm just trying to pay to stay somewhere. Why is this a lottery? Anyway, I don't know. Is this kind of similar to like the in the DC area, the sakura trees blossom every May, I think, and it's a big pool. And I don't know, it feels similar to that. This kind of like North American kind of cultural is not the right word. Geographical is also not the right word, but it's something uniquely here that you can't.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Aren't other countries way overpopulated? It's probably just starting here for lotteries
with fireflies.
Well, just like events like that in China, I bet the wait is insane.
I'm sure. I'm talking more of like the on the American side of things though, because I don't really feel like we have a ton of stuff like that people are like, oh yeah, at this time every year you got to go here and see this thing. Like the Aurora, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's good. It's all cultural. It's all regional.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool that it's like unique to us, and that it is drawing this whole like crowd, and it is this trend. I mean,
I wonder if they give certain international people like priority.
A Rooney Rule for Firefly viewing.
Well, just like if you're distributing between more than 45,000 and you only have 960, what do you could just do the first 960, but then what's the point of having the list go that long? So there's got to be some sort of criteria they're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I don't know, man. I wonder, like, is it the fireflies? Like, is it the beginning of mating season? It has to be something like that, right? They don't just all wake up and be like, "Hey, let's go dance."
You're not going to trick me into Googling mating fireflies. I'll tell you that.
Damn it! Trying to get you on any list I can.
All right, it's all sports from here on out. $1,450. That is the price of a leather New York Knicks jacket by luxury brand Jorzine. currently available at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are in the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999. Brands and bootleggers are both cashing in. $68 tote bags, limited edition t-shirts, the full merchandise flood. The last time the Knicks were here, Patrick Ewing was in his prime and the internet was barely a thing. Now you can spend $1,500 on a leather jacket at the arena.
That's insane. I mean, I get it. The Knicks have always been kind of a very popular team. Even here in Charlotte, when I go to Hornets games, if it's against the Knicks, it feels like an away game. So I don't doubt that the hype is that real and that people are losing their minds. I don't think I'm ever going to spend $1,500 on a leather jacket, but
No.
yeah, like who is? Is it like the celebrities in attendance? I know like Timothée Chalamet has been going to these things and stuff like that. Like I assume that's who it's for.
Ben Stiller, do you see the one from the last game where he was flexing and they were like, I didn't know Ben had it like that. No, he's been on the floor a ton.
Nice.
Not to mention the ticket prices. What's the ticket price for game 3 of the Knicks? Look that up.
Okay, give me a second.
Look that up and I'll go to the next story.
All right.
$11 billion. That is the projected revenue FIFA is targeting from this year's World Cup, a record. Boosted by an expanded 48-team field and an American host country, FIFA is leveraging what it describes as a once-in-a-generation commercial moment.
Mm-hmm.
The money gets redistributed to FIFA's 211 member nations. The cost of fans, publicly listed I nailed it. Publicly listed tickets starting in the hundreds of dollars, soaring into the thousands for marquee games. We talked about the Portugal-Colombia ticket being $2,500 a few weeks ago. That was a first-round game. This is the scale of the whole tournament, Sean.
Yeah.
So can you believe that?
No. I mean, we're talking like $11 billion for a soccer tournament, right? That's insane. For context, Super Bowl, that generates roughly $500 to $600 million in economic impact for the host city. And FIFA is projecting 11 billion with a B billion for the World Cup. That's ridiculous.
I can't imagine paying $2,500 for a first round game.
Yeah, no way. Me neither. I know it's a crazy international spectacle and everything, but like that just is so much money, man. Like, and you think about the juggernaut that the NFL is, and they're dwarfing it, absolutely dwarfing it.
Okay, I lied. We have one non-sports story before it's all sports from here.
Well, do you want this get-in price for the game that you mentioned a minute ago?
Yes, please.
Okay. The tickets for Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Spurs at Madison Square Garden are the most expensive in NBA history. The cheapest get-in prices range from $7,000 to $12,000. And we're talking nosebleeds, people. Like, this is a car. A decent used car. Like, not decent.
To go to
but a used car
game,
nonetheless.
To go to one game.
Yeah,
like
dude,
many people wouldn't pay that to go to a season of football games.
Yeah, that is absolutely
be a season
insane.
ticket holder for less.
Yeah, easily. But this is, I mean, you've got the Wemby factor too, right? Like, it's the Knicks and the historic franchise that they are in the Garden. Wemby's there. If they win this game, they're going up 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's essentially like if they win this one, it's done, right?
It's
like,
done.
Yeah. So this is huge.
Do you think the Knicks might lose just because of the Secret Service and the president being there?
I doubt it. It does go
invited.
to speak to like the real. If I could just give one quick mention about the ticketing market in this country, it is criticized unfairly because there's only a handful of these powerful companies, like Live Nation and stuff like that. Ticketmaster, they control like the whole ecosystem. So they get the fees, they get the dynamic pricing, the resale practices that are like legal, but often leave us feeling, exploited with really no alternatives. And it's not like this everywhere else. It's just like, if you do some research into international ticketing markets, there's a huge level of corruption in the US with ticketing. And I really hope that something can be done about it. I know we got something from the last administration, I believe, about like, the resale values and stuff like that, but more needs to happen.
Yeah, I mean, with the tickets, it's just very much like there was a deal to try to do something about it, and the president kind of gave them an 11th hour bail and never really explained why. So you can kind of blame the Oval Office a little bit. Maybe there's something else working in there. We're not really getting into politics on this. I'm just saying that like ticket prices are so bad that Congress is talking about it.
Yeah, it is bad. I think a lot of the norms in other countries is that if you resale, you're reselling for face value. Like literally, like the apps or whatever, the market won't let you upcharge, and like that's the whole problem is the scalpers and everything come in and swipe up all these tickets and then just want to charge 1,000% markup on them. I mean, just look at the Eras Tour. I know neither of us are diehard Swifties, but like look at prices for the Eras Tour, man. That was insane. So anyway.
Our last number, 1. Ryanair CEO Michael O'Leary says the airline is diverting nearly 1 flight per day because of drunk passengers. A decade ago, that number was 1 per week in the UK. Or, I'm sorry, a decade ago, that number was 1 per week. In the UK, having a drink before a morning flight is, in his words, as sacred as Sunday roast. O'Leary is now calling for UK airports to stop selling alcohol in the mornings or at least cut passengers off after 2 rounds. The man who built his career on making flying as cheap and unpleasant as humanly possible has drawn his line at drunkenness. Ryanair, the airline where the seats do not recline and the legroom is a suggestion, has found something it considers unacceptable.
It's a weird hill for him to die on, right? Like they'll charge you for the carry-on bag, they'll charge you to print your boarding pass, but if you want to drink before the flight, nah, man, that's stop. You got to stop. Like
You gotta stop.
What a weird hill to die on, man. Like I guess if people are being belligerent in the aisles and stuff like that, that's one thing. But if you just got someone that's having a couple drinks for the flight, that's kind of crazy. I'd be curious to see the details of things that had to get rerouted.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just really love the idea that 1 flight was getting diverted for drunkenness.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's an average. That's the average.
Yeah, right?
Some weeks are higher.
Hey, I'm glad it's the passengers and not the pilots.
Monaco Grand Prix weekend is the weekend. Oh. I mean, round 6 of the 2026 season, Sean.
Yeah, and it's been fun. It's been, obviously a very Mercedes season. Kimi Antonelli largely dominating. But Monaco is always a nice chance to kind of step back, catch your breath a little bit, enjoy some really aesthetic F1, and maybe we'll get some excitement. We'll see.
For sure. So, Circuit de Monaco, 78 laps. How many turns?
Got 19 turns.
Okay.
Yeah.
And safety car probability at Monaco is only 29% based on the last 7 races there. So, I mean, you compare that to Montreal's 83%. Monaco is practically sedated. Nelson Piquet described driving here as like riding a bicycle around your living room. The 2003 race had 0 on-track overtakes. 0. Only 34% of the lap is at full throttle.
Yeah, I mean, and the famous hairpin at turn 6, cars are taking that at about 45 kilometers an hour, and that's slower than a lot of residential speed limits.
You are 1 millimeter offline, and you are in the wall. And yet somehow it produces the most compelling qualifying session of the year. Where you start here is almost always where you finish. The last 3 Monaco races have all been won from pole. Remember that when we get to our best bets.
That's right. Yeah, there's a common theme this season, it seems. Monaco has been on the Formula One calendar since the very first season back to 1950. This Sunday is the 72nd championship race here and the 83rd since the Monaco Grand Prix back in 1929.
The all-time record for most wins here is Ayrton Senna with 6 victories, obviously, Senna. 5 in a row between 1989 and 1993, all with McLaren. McLaren is also the most successful team at Monaco with 16 wins overall.
All right, the lap record. Lewis Hamilton, 1 minute, 12.909 seconds, set back in 2021.
And here's the stat that matters for the weekend. Mercedes have won all 5 races in 2026, but they have not won at Monaco since 2019. 7 years. Ferrari won here in 2024 with Leclerc, and McLaren won in 2025 with Lando Norris. The two teams chasing Mercedes in the constructor standings have the recent Monaco form.
Right. But we've also got, the championship angle to consider. Antonelli leading Russell by 43 points heading into Monaco. He won the last 4 Grand Prix in a row and is chasing his 5th consecutive win, Kimi is. So don't know how hopeful McLaren and these other teams can be.
The last Italian driver to win 5 in a row was Alberto Ascari in 1952. Antonelli is 19 years old, and he's chasing a record from 74 years ago.
And he actually named Ferrari as the team to beat in Monaco. And Hamilton agreed. He predicted Ferrari's car could be really strong there.
Leclerc grew up in Monaco. He watched Ferrari's red cars from his friend's balcony as a kid. He's been on pole here 3 times in 5 years, 21, 22, 24, and converted it into a win once. This race means something different to him than it does to really anyone else on the grid.
Yeah, and McLaren, who are 3rd in the constructors right now, they're 86 points back, had Norris win here last year. So, they come in needing a bounce back after the just disaster that was Montreal. I don't know what that tire strategy was.
Before we get back to that, let's get to a technology part of it. Monaco practice worth explaining, right? I mean, at every other race this season, the cars use straight mode. Active aerodynamics that open the front and rear wings on the straights to reduce drag. Monaco is the first circuit all season where straight mode is switched completely off. The track is so tight and slow that maximum downforce matters more than drag reduction.
Yeah, and that created a gap in the regulations, didn't it?
Mercedes, Red Bull, and McLaren all noticed that the space where the straight mode wing moving mechanism it normally sits, has no regulation covering what you can put there when it's not being used. So they filled that space with extra winglets that sit higher than the normal rear wing and generate additional downforce that is not normally permitted.
But it is legal.
Appears to be.
Okay.
The FIA has not moved to ban it. The wing dimensions are strictly defined, but not that small center section. Mercedes' version is the most extreme. They removed the pod entirely and installed a complete set of winglets. Red Bull's version repurposed the pod as a mount for 2 simpler winglets. At most tracks, this would cost more drag than it gains in downforce. But at Monaco, the least drag-sensitive circuit on the calendar, it is pure gain.
So there's 3 teams walking in with a hardware advantage before a wheel has been turned in qualifying.
At Monaco, where fractions of a second in qualifying decide the weekend, that extra downforce could be the difference between row 1 and row 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to watch Monaco and see the scenes.
Yeah, no, it's going to be fun, just aesthetic, like I keep saying. And hopefully we do get some drama. That would be really cool.
There's also going to be some celebrating going on for your boys.
Yeah, that's right.
In the papaya.
Yeah. So it is McLaren's 1000th Grand Prix. The Monaco race is McLaren's 1000th Formula One Grand Prix, only the 2nd team in history to reach that number. Ferrari is the only one that has otherwise gotten there. They did it back in 2020.
It was supposed to happen at Miami, but the cancellation of Bahrain and Saudi Arabia delayed it by a few weeks. So Monaco, where McLaren won 5 consecutive races with Senna, is actually the perfect place for it. Maybe that's the reason the U.S. and Israel and Iran got into a conflict. They wanted to move this race to Monaco. You think that's why?
I bet that's what they were having all of their meetings about.
Yeah, open up the straight.
On Thursday, we did see Mika Hakkinen. He drove Bruce McLaren's original 1966 car, that McLaren M2B on the Monaco circuit. Hakkinen won the 3rd championship with McLaren twice and won this race in 1998.
Yeah. And then Norris and Piastri stood on the grid alongside a collection of McLaren champions. I mean, Lewis Hamilton, who won his first title with McLaren in 2008. Emerson Fittipaldi, and David Coulthard. I mean, all the team's past race winners were invited.
Yeah, Zach Brown, has been the CEO since the end of 2016. He walked into a team that hadn't won a world championship since 2008 and hadn't finished on the podium since early 14. So his first move was switching the livery back to that papaya orange that you mentioned, the color that Bruce McLaren adopted back in 1968.
Brown said that felt like the start of the reset. Less than a decade later, McLaren won the Constructors' Championship in 2024, and Norris won the Drivers' title in 2025. Norris has now made more race starts for McLaren than any driver in history, 156.
And the moment
just ahead of David Coulthard's 150.
Yeah, no, shout out David. The Coulthard is a real one, man. And the moment Brown credits as his favorite in his entire time at the team, though?
Daniel Ricciardo winning the 2021 Italian Grand Prix, McLaren's first win since 2012. He described it as the moment the reset became real. And his current goal, 2 world champions on the same team. One of Brown's admitted dreams, he said, I'm halfway there, meaning Norris has a title. Now he wants one for Piastri also.
And Piastri, speaking about where the team is right now, says we've got all the pieces of the puzzle that we want and that we need. Now it's about trying to go out and execute.
Brown's closing line on the 1,000 races. I like what we've accomplished so far, but I feel like we're just getting started. After a decade of rebuilding, that is either the most confident or the most concerning thing a team boss can say. Knowing Zach Brown, probably both.
Yeah, actually. What about Kevin Magnussen in NASCAR? A little bit of a cross-sport story. The Danish driver who spent 2 stints in F1, totaling 185 starts between McLaren, Renault, and Haas, has been announced for the NASCAR Cup Series debut.
Through Project 91, Trackhouse Racing's program specifically designed to bring elite non-NASCAR drivers into the Cup Series. I mean, previous Project 91 drivers include Kimi Räikkönen, who is a Formula One world champion, Sean van Gisbergen, a 3-time Austrian supercars champion who won his Project 91 debut on the Chicago street course before switching to NASCAR full-time, and Elio Castroneves, 3-time Indianapolis 500 winner. Van Gisbergen is not is a name you obviously know in NASCAR. He's been lights out going in there, pun intended.
Cool to get a mention of Elio Castroneves in there. I've actually been to an Indy 500 race with my dad when I was like 12 years old, and Elio Castroneves was racing at the time, and it was really cool. They call him Spider-Man. Anyway, similar to Van Gisbergen's debut on that brand new circuit, Magnussen's race is at Naval Base Coronado in San Diego, a track nobody's driven yet. It's a 3.4-mile course on an active military base, longest track on the Cup schedule. Races June 19th through the 21st.
Magnussen's career best F1 result was second place at the 2014 Australian Grand Prix, his very first F1 start. He's been racing endurance cars for BMW since leaving F1. Le Mans, Daytona, the full WEC calendar. He knows how to adapt to different machines, and Project 91's track record suggests this could be genuinely competitive.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what translates and what doesn't. Is there going to be overthinking? Is there going to be, just things that you have to consider in NASCAR that you don't think about in F1? I don't know the dichotomy of the two, racing genres, if you will.
This is a street-style road course, no oval, that plays directly to Magnussen's strengths. Van Gisbergen proved a European road racer can win at this level immediately on the right circuit. So San Diego might be that circuit.
All right, going on to Las Vegas. They just got extended through 2037. They have been officially extended by the FIA. It's a 10-year deal confirmed between Las Vegas Grand Prix, Clark County, and the LVCVA, the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority.
Since 2023, the race has delivered $3.2 billion in cumulative economic impact for Southern Nevada. All 3 races sold out. The 2025 race generated $43 million in state and local tax revenue, including $15 million for K-12 education. Max Verstappen has won there twice. Russell once.
So F1's got Miami through 2041, Vegas through 2037, and Austin on a long-term deal. The U.S. is not a side market for the sport anymore.
3 American races. Cadillac as an American team. The Las Vegas Strip at 322 kilometers per hour. F1 in America is a completely different story than it was 10 years ago when Zach Brown took over the papaya.
And you can feel it. I think it's very obvious. If you're even tangentially following this sport, you can just feel it growing and becoming more and more of a thing in the U.S.
For sure. Speaking of which, I think we've covered the nuts and bolts. It's time to get to the best bets.
All right.
But that's what I love watching.
Gambling carries risk. Only gamble what you can afford to lose. Help is available. 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org to learn more. So let's go over some of the best bets that we were able to get before the podcast this week, which is amazing. Bet 1 is a boost only offered on a specific book. It's a British book. They don't pay us. Should I mention it?
Probably not. We want money.
Okay, then take that, this book. But we use them a lot, and if you follow these F1 bets, you've probably figured out who it is. They have a boost called No Overtaking in Monaco. That's Antonelli to win, Verstappen second, and Hamilton third. It pays out plus 250. So this is our anchor. Natural race script at plus money. All 3 hold starting positions. We tried to make this bet last week with Canada. Kind of a zig when they zag type play. Would you like to talk about how that went?
I like this one. This is definitely the dart, in my opinion, just because I do think Antonelli wins. I like Verstappen to remain at second. I just don't know if I trust Ferrari and Hamilton right now. I don't know. That's the part that scares me. So I'm a little hesitant on this one. I love the first 2 legs.
I'm almost more worried after we did our segment on the race about Hamilton possibly getting to second or Verstappen getting to first, vice versa.
Yeah.
But that takes us to bet number 2.
Okay.
Which I might add, let's just go back. For anyone that's been tailing us, we did one of these no overtaking bets for Canada, a zig when they zag type thing. Mm-hmm. It was stupid. It didn't work. Okay, so this time there's a much smaller chance of safety car.
There is.
Like, it makes more sense. Now we're zigging when they zig. We're saying this should happen, just so you know. That's because why it's history, bet 1.
Man.
Yeah, that's a 1-unit bet. By the way, okay. Sean, what is a unit for anybody who's not usually here?
10% of the budget you've set aside for betting for the week, which is only that which you can afford to lose.
Exactly. Money you've set aside that you said, if this was all stolen right now, I'll pay all my bills and I will get by just fine. Set aside safe amounts of money. Don't chase losses.
Never.
Don't try to live bet an F1 race. There is, spoiler alert, you're not even in the right time zone. So also, there's a delay.
Don't live bet ping pong. Anyway.
That's just a good message to give everybody at any time, really. Don't bet ping pong in the middle of the night. Bet 2, this is a 1.5-unit bet. Max Verstappen to win, plus 250. It's the same juice we get, the same vig we get for bet 1. We're getting the plus 250 on both our bets, but for this one, we just need Verstappen to be better than Kimi Antonelli at this racetrack that he's driven more.
Yeah.
So
this is where I might follow you because I kind of want this. I'm loving the Boy Wonder storyline. It's cool seeing Kimi and the success that Mercedes is getting. You know, I'm a McLaren fan, so I would rather it be them. But for this particular race, for all the kind of the plot lines that are lining up and everything, I think I'd like to see Max win this one and overtake Antonelli and kind of dominate in Monaco. I think that'd be fun. So my emotions might get the better of me on this one to chase you here. Tail you, I should say.
Here's a couple of bets that use some of the papaya drivers you could do if you don't like those 2.
Okay.
I'm starting to wonder if you'd want to do all of these bets at once because you're destined to lose bet 2 if you don't get bet 1 and bet 3. Because here's bet 3. Antonelli to win, plus Piastri top 6, which is you're getting minus 110 at this book.
Okay.
So Piastri holds P7. or inherits from Leclerc damage or someone else, because Leclerc hit a wall yesterday. Correlated and clean, you know? So this is more of another bet on business as usual, but saying Piastri will climb at least one position.
Which, I mean, he's an excellent driver, right? Like, that's totally feasible. He could absolutely go from P7 to the top 6, no problem. It's that you're counting on Antonelli holding that first place the entire race, which in Monaco is very doable. It has happened, like we've been saying, more often than not for the past decade. But I really want to see the drama of a Max overtake and Kimi having to kind of see what it's like not to finish first for, you know, the first time in a couple of months. So I don't know if I'm tailing this one.
If you aren't tailing that one, you may not like this one, but you might find your own little hybrid papaya bet if you want it.
Okay.
Half a unit on Norris top 6 because it pays out plus 100 on its own, and Liam Lawson in the points. So Norris needs 2 retirements. This is assuming that maybe even Piastri is one of the ones that goes out.
Okay.
He needs 2 retirements or somehow to overtake to gain 2 positions. That's why it's only a half unit play, because Monaco has such like few, like there's so few overtakes that I don't really want to bet on it too much, but it's half a unit. And then Lawson just has to not be one of those retirements and hold. He just has to hold in the points.
Yeah, which I think wasn't the one bet that hit that in Canada, the Colapinto, where he just really kind of had to survive and do his thing.
Yep. Just had to not be one of the ones in the wreckage. So I just wanted to diversify what we had. I hate to be double dipping on Antonelli to win twice, but it's just like
he's got P1 and this is Monaco.
And you read about the first turn.
Yeah.
About how it's not easy to just overtake at the very beginning, like a lot of races. So we're hoping Verstappen can come through and win our biggest bet, and then we can maybe clip bet 4. But if not, you're hoping to hit bet 1 and 3, where you get the top 3 set. And then if for some reason Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen screws that up for you, you have Antonelli to win, and then you have Piastri top 6. Yeah. So if all of those other things didn't go right, I feel like it's pretty likely Piastri's moved up to 6th.
No, I agree. You
know? It's like that's a little bit of a hedge, 1 unit hedge.
It is just it is the race on the calendar where you can't bank on chaos. So I don't know. Here I am saying I want Max to overtake P1 and win this thing. But it feels like Max has been a little quiet this season. You know, Mercedes has been dominant. I mean, Max is still in the races and he's still claiming positions, you know, climbing and everything, but we haven't really gotten a whole lot of Max aura yet this season, and I think it might be our time here. I've just got a feeling, similar to your Jalen Hurts thing for the Super Bowl, I feel like I see Max standing on that podium at number 1.
Ooh, I'm glad I made the bet then. I'm going to be thinking about that. Either way, though, the thing is with splitting the bets, obviously bet 1 and bet 2 cannot hit, but they're both at 2.5 times your money.
Mm-hmm. So if one does and one doesn't, you're still in the money.
Bingo.
Yep.
That's why we kind of want Max to win, because it's our 1.5 unit bet, so we'd make even more.
Yeah. It's going to be fun to watch. Like, just like I feel like I've said it 20 times now, but the aesthetic of this race is prime. I mean, this is like, if you're with someone that doesn't watch F1 tomorrow morning and you're just flipping the race on, get their attention. Be like, hey, just check this out. Like, what do you think of this? It's going to be cool.
Yeah, for sure. Invite somebody over for like a sunrise hike or something, and then surprise them when they get back.
Yep.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Tail the bets. I'm going to try to get them up on Substack later today. I'm glad I've got them out on the podcast, though. Maybe these will just be for the podcast audience. Who knows? We appreciate any of you guys listening. We'll be getting back to some voicemails and things next week, possibly some more NFL storylines, because who could stop that engine from churning?
Yeah, we appreciate you guys leaving the voicemails for us. We're definitely going to get more involved with those. Definitely want to remind you to leave us on, because our canine friends absolutely love us.
Yo, this podcast so fire. Even my dog watches it.
Like, that's a real review, guys. Like, you gotta leave us on for your dogs, at least. So please do. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace out.